Hi folks, it's Scott here from the Celtic Report, and I'm here to discuss Celtic's rather dismal 2-0 home defeat against Hearts in the Scottish Premiership. Woeful. That's the only thing the only word you can describe for it. Just a total shambles. A total shambles. There's a lot you can address on. Does the buck stop with the manager? Does it stop with the board? Does it stop with the players? I think everybody needs to take blame for that today because it was abysmal. It was an abysmal Celtic performance. Celtic lined up. I kind of don't think that. I don't think a lot of Celtic fans will share this view. But when you've actually had a good performance during the week in the Champions League, when you beat Feyenoord, and your goal scorer, who is a defender and a young left back, makes a really good impression on Wednesday night, and then neither of them are on the squad, are in the match day squad for the game on Saturday. That to me is a massive worry. That to me is a concern, because you look at that squad, the likes of Greg Taylor, the likes of, now I think we need to kind of look at Liam Scales and think, is he really as good as Celtic made him out to be? First half, the 15 minutes, the goal was horrendous. The goal, we've seen Celtic concede that goal so many times. We've seen Celtic, a striker, particularly a striker as prolific as Lawrence Shankland, just able to peel away at the back post. Nobody follows him, and he's able to head home. And Celtic are one down. Celtic then get some chances. There's some nice link-up play between Kyogo and Turnbull. Johnson finds Turnbull inside the box. The pass is offside. And then Celtic, between the first and second goal, Celtic do make a lot of runs, make a lot of passes, but the final ball was just bad. That is Johnson. Mikey Johnson should never be near a Celtic team again. He's not Celtic class. And the sooner that needs to be addressed, the better, because no harm to Mikey Johnson. He'd be a serviceable SPFL player. The fact that he's getting games for Celtic in 2023 kind of says everything about the mess Celtic are in right now. 2-0, a free kick. In fairness, there's not much you can do about that. It's a brilliant goal, brilliant. The problem is that to give the foul away in that area is just so lazy. And Celtic, just that kind of sums up the first half, laziness. Create chances. Palmer, who I thought, again, too much reliance on Lewis Palmer to try and make things happen, because he seems to be the only creative threat that the players trust, which, again, is more alarm bells. 2-0 at half-time, and the boos were ringing out. This is the problem. The boos are obviously frustration because of the result, but the boos have been building for a long time because the performances have been inadequate in the league. They've been slow, pedestrian. I think some of the boos are aimed at the manager, as we'll get into at the end of the video. Celtic make 3 changes at half-time. Off goes Alistair Johnson, Mikey Johnson, David Turnbull. In comes Ralston. Maeda returns from injury, and Celtic try and get a bit into it. Palmer, again, nice ball into the box. Just misses Kyogo. Maeda gets an early yellow card. Just silly. Just poor. Bernabe comes on for Palmer, which, again, just you're looking at going, what is that? I didn't think Palmer was in a terrible game. I thought he was trying too hard, but because there's nothing to work with, you can understand that. Bringing on Bernabe and keeping Taylor on baffles me. He takes Taylor off 10 minutes later and brings on James Forrest. Why not do the double change in 62 minutes? You have to roll the dice, and I didn't understand those subs at all. Understood why you take off Palmer, potentially because he might be absolutely exhausted, but when you need a goal, you need 3 goals. You need 2 at least, and Palmer was the only player that I thought was getting you them. So let's look at, after that, Scales and Taylor. I don't think Taylor is. I think that's another example of Celtic need a better left back, and Bernabe's not the answer either. Bernabe was okay when he came on. Do you know what I mean? He was trying to get forward, but I'm a nervous wreck watching Bernabe, because you're worried he's just going to make a rash foul, put himself in a bad position. Kyogo, again, I thought Kyogo had a few chances. I just thought it was an off day, but there's massive questions to answer now for this Celtic side, and I think the buck has to go with the manager here, because he has made these decisions today. Now, the problem with bringing Brendan Rodgers back was if there was a point in the season where the results with the Turner performances were to be poor, Brendan Rodgers was going to get the blame regardless because some of the fans don't really want him. Now, that isn't fair. That isn't fair on Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers left 4 years ago and fans need to get over it, quite frankly, but there are a section of the Celtic support who do not want Brendan Rodgers as the manager, and this will feed them. So that kind of is the frustration. The board have to take a large part of the blame as well because some of the players, again, the depth and squad, there's not, looking at the bench, Celtic's 5 subs. Anthony Ralston, is he going to win you a game? No. Kwon, it says here Kwon, I thought it was Ole Kwon. I just don't understand it. I just do not understand what is going on. It's really, really bad from a Celtic's perspective. Like, whether you can look at Celtic right now and say, can they learn from this? That's 2 defeats in a row and the performances were atrocious. Like, for example, I thought O was okay when he came on, to be fair. I think him and Kyogo were trying, but there was nothing there. It says here Kwon came on, which I'm still baffled about, not Kwon. But having, like, Celtic's bench, Kwon, Bernabe, Bernardo, Bain, Maeda, Forrest, Ralston, Welsh. Now, injuries are one thing, but the fact that that's the depth options in December 2023 is embarrassing. And that has to stop with the board. Kwon isn't anywhere near good enough. Yang isn't anywhere near the squad. Lagerbielke and Frame come on Wednesday, looked really good. Nowhere to be seen today. Frame, I thought, was really good on Wednesday. Welsh, Carter Vickers come straight back in. Doesn't look fit to me. So you have to look at what is going on here. Now, Celtic should be far ahead of Rangers. Now, I don't care what anybody says. Celtic should be clear of Rangers. Way clear of Rangers. 5 points clear of Rangers with 2 games in hand. Rangers win those 2 games in hand. Then Celtic have a massive problem. Not because Rangers are going to be huge. Rangers are going to kick on. Rangers still have a lot of problems themselves. But this Celtic team have went backwards in 6 months. Way backwards. And squad depth is what I keep saying. The squad depth that we raved about under Ange is now non-existent. Big players, the likes of Kyogo, doesn't look anywhere near suited to what this style of play is. When you see the likes of Turnbull come in, I thought Turnbull again, okay, but okay is just what he was today. Like, he's not flashy. O'Reilly was quite quiet. McGregor was quiet. This just speaks of a massive problem at Celtic right now. Now, it's not the end of the world because you have a few games between now and Rangers. That game on the 30th is massive for Celtic because if Rangers come to Parkhead and win, the pressure that's on the Celtic just now will just multiply and multiply in that game. If Rangers go to Celtic and win, that's a momentum boost for Rangers. That's a big moment for Rangers. But Celtic will have thrown away a lead. And they've thrown away a lead. Celtic were 7 points clear when Philippe Clement took over. I don't think that's all down to Philippe Clement. I think that's down to Celtic throwing games away. So I think a lot of questions to answer from a Celtic perspective tonight. I'm going to wrap up the post-match there. For more reaction, tune in tomorrow. We'll have the player ratings out. They probably won't be kind to anybody. And try and enjoy the rest of your night, folks. We'll see you soon.